Honestly, we get it. Not everybody has the time to listen to an hour-long podcast.
However, if you do, you should totally check out our last video.
That being said, we're going to keep this one nice and concise.
You're about to get the pros and cons, ins and outs, and everything you should keep in mind before going into this record.
This is your album briefing.
Wavves are an indie rock group from San Diego, California, formed in 2008, and Your Welcome is their 6th studio album.
Although this album doesn't really have a consistent lyrical theme or concept, it definitely has a consistent sound that I can only describe as garage surf.
If you're a fan of lyrics, run away. But seriously, lyrically, there's not a whole lot to dig into on this album. Some of the melodies here and there are really catchy, but you're not really going to get a deep emotional breakthrough from this album.
However, if you're a musician or a gear nerd, regardless of instrument, this thing is a gold mine. There's always something that's going to catch your ear instrumentally. The bass tones go anywhere from a really clean thump all the way to some really pleasing overdriven tones. The guitars manage to take advantage of a lot of different textures, including slapback delays, pitch modulation, and various forms of distortion and fuzz. The drums will always keep you on your toes as they range anywhere from a really vintage kind of boominess all the way to this really heavily gated 8-bit crunch. You're honestly going to get a ton of different ideas that you can pull from in your original music, and I highly recommend headphones whenever you listen to this album.
Though there are many interesting things happening instrumentally, which are pretty awesome, they do generally rely heavily on quiet and loud dynamics and transitions, save for a few moments here and there throughout the record. This can make it very difficult to differentiate between the different tracks if you're not looking at the track listing. However, since the track list is only 35 minutes long, that kind of makes up for it and it's not too big of an issue.
The vocal performances on this record are kind of spotty. Sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're not very good at all. However, the production does a really good job of making these vocals super clear and super nicely balanced all throughout the record. All bass frequencies ranging from bass guitar to kick drum and floor tom are super tight and punchy, and there's great extension from the bass and low mids. Guitars are almost always in stereo, providing a really nice sense of space. My only gripe is that some of these songs sound rather congested, but at the same time I feel like this is more of an instrumental and performance aspect and not so much something that's of fault from the production. So I really don't have too much of a problem with it.
I think the album opens strong enough and closes really well, but man, a lot of that middle gets really tedious. My favorite tracks are Hollowed Out, Under, and I Love You, because they tend to stand out more both lyrically and instrumentally for me.
Animal, Exercise, and Daisy were my favorite tracks on the record. I picked these because they tend to stand out a little bit more when it comes to the parts amongst the string instruments, and they really carry their weight throughout the boring part of the album. Now that we gave you the rundown, go to your favorite music streaming service and give this album a listen. Once you did, go ahead and join the discussion in the comment section below. Be sure to let us know what you thought about the songs that we picked as our favorites, and we recommend you stay away from the ones we didn't like so much, which happen to be Come to the Valley and Stupid in Love. But hey, maybe you'll dig them when we didn't.
Don't forget you can keep up on the discussion and follow us on Instagram at Don't Touch the Radio or on Twitter at Don't Touch the Rat. You can also like, subscribe, and share this with someone you may think is interested. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, don't touch the radio.